Following is a presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and future. Why, hi there, I'm Ron Chuckett, and welcome to our primetime game of the week, the Milwaukee Brewers and the Baltimore Orioles. And you get to see me first instead of the box score of last night's game because you're going to get excited when you see it. We're coming in with Baltimore and Milwaukee now in the position where they, along with the Tigers and the Toronto Blue Jays, are now beginning this dogfight in earnest for the American League East title. And then you throw some gasoline on the proverbial fire as you had something incredible happen on the Tuesday night game in Milwaukee. What was that? Well, let's just say it was a no-hitter, Randy Lurch. And I forgot that Randy Lurch pitched for the Milwaukee Brewers. I always associated him with the Philadelphia Phillies. Threw a no-hitter. He got a lot of help from Cecil Cooper in the eighth, who bombed a two-run shot to right center to give Milwaukee a comfortable 3-0 lead. And then Lurch got Ripken to pop out to short, Disco Dan Ford to ground out to first, and Eddie Murray to ground out to first, and that was it. Milwaukee goes to 31-22. And more importantly, Randy Lurch throws a no-hitter. There it is. He walked 4. He walked 3 in the first inning of all things. He did it on 113 pitches and puts Milwaukee now within shouting distance of Baltimore and Detroit, who are tied coming into this game. So there you have it. The O's and the Brewers from Milwaukee. You don't get to see Scott McGregor. Look at those numbers. 8 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs all earned. But Randy Lurch throws a no-hitter. He only struck out 1. Does it say here who he struck out? Yep. Gary Renicky. How about that? And so there you have it. It's the Orioles trying to fight back after being no-hit to face the Milwaukee Brewers tonight as Retro Sports Network presents Major League Baseball 1982 from County Stadium in Milwaukee. It is the Baltimore Orioles and the Milwaukee Brewers. Mike Flanagan against Moose Haas.
Play ball!
So on a 77-degree night, there's no clear. Winds are 2 miles an hour out to right field. Just a beautiful night for baseball, and this place is still abuzz after last night's no-hitter. So Baltimore and Detroit are tied for first. Milwaukee a game and a half back, I think. Milwaukee is 2 back. They've won 8 of 10 and, of course, 1 in a row. Detroit, as I show you the standings, has fallen back down to earth. They're 2-8, and Baltimore is just playing 600 baseball. And so the battle is joined. You see the Blue Jays have won 3 straight. And so this, along with the other American League race, appear to be the hot races of the year. If you weren't with us yesterday, you saw St. Louis and Montreal play a seesaw affair. Montreal's lead over Philadelphia going into Wednesday's games is 3.5 now. Chicago 4 back. And the Dodgers are now in the middle of a rampage in the National League West. They're 36-20 and have an 8.5 game lead over Atlanta. You'll see them in a couple weeks. Right here on Retro Sports Network, Combat Painter. How are you? Dale Lonsdale, how are you? Good to have you along for this one. And so Dale says, go Brewers, and Combat Painter calls me Ralph Kiner, which is all take that. That's a compliment. All right, so it's Moose Haas who gets to pick up for Randy Lurch last night. Moose is now 4-5 on the year. The 4.37 ERA. This is start number 11 for Moose. His last one came, as I wait for the computer to cooperate, against Oakland on June 4th. So last Friday night, 7 innings, 9 hits in the win. He allowed 4 runs and still got the win. He threw 2 walks and struck out 4. So 68 innings, 84 hits. He's allowed 4 homers, 38 runs, 33 earned. He has walked 14. And the hard ball and strikeout days of Haas's past are gone. He's only struck out 32 to go 4-5. Glad you are great, Dale. So, as I said, 4-5 on the year. And I think this is the first series between Baltimore and Milwaukee, because you don't see Haas pitching against either Baltimore or Detroit. Lots of starts against California, Oakland, and Kansas City, but nothing except for that opening start against Toronto, against what promises to be a huge race to finish the year. Al Bunbury, you see there with an 8-game hitting streak, will lead off. Guess he didn't play last night, huh? He's a left-hander, and he'll play center field. Rich Dower at second for the Orioles. He'll play second. Kenny Singleton, your DH. He'll hit third. Eddie Murray at first base. He'll clean up. He's at 387. John Lowenstein is a left fielder. He'll bat fifth. Tim Dwyer, your right fielder, will hit sixth. Cal Ripken, who won't miss a game now until 1999, will bat seventh and play third. Joe Nolan behind the plate. No Rick Dempsey. He'll bat eighth. And Barry Bonner, who shares that rookie 1982 Topps card with Cal Ripken, is your shortstop. He'll bat ninth. Mike Flanagan is on the mound. Defensively for the Brewers, Ben Ogleby is a 9-7 in left. Stormin Gorman Thomas is a 7-6 in center, and Charlie Moore is a 7-9 in right. Paul Molitor is a 7 in third. Rob Piccolo, and not Robin Young at short. Piccolo is a 2, which is not great. Not my favorite instrument either. Eddie Romero, the utility infielder who had graced Boston for a long time, is a 7 at second for the Brewers, and Cecil Cooper is an 8. Ted Simmons behind the plate. He's a 5 and a 6. So Moose Haas is ready. Al Bunbury is at 307, 3 homers and 18 RBI is ready. And so let's do this. Wednesday night baseball right here on Retro Sports Network. Well, thanks, Dale. Hope you liked it. You guys are the reason why I do this, and I really enjoy all of you. Okay, Bunbury gave you his numbers. And so this one starts with a ground ball to Romero. And the computer stops over to Cooper. How you doing, OG? And that's 1 out. Why is this running slow death? It should not be running slow death. I upgraded you. Anyway, 1 out on 1 pitch. We'll take that. Rich Dower at 250, 3 homers and 20 RBI. So Moose Haas gets Bunbury on 1 pitch. Pitch to Dower is a fly ball to left. Ogleby out of play. So the Orioles and Tigers are tied for first. The Brewers are 2 back, tied with Toronto for second or third. Or fourth if you want to be picky. Dower ground ball to Romero over to Cooper. 2 out. I don't think I can open up Monday's box score. All right. Oh, I can. The reason why I bring this up, right? Box score helps if you hit the right button. The last Oriole hit, if this will load, it's not going to load for me. Never mind. I was trying to figure out when the last time the Orioles got a hit. It's not going to let me find that out easily. Kenny Singleton's at the plate, 281, 4 homers and 25 RBI. Haas delivers, and there's a ground ball to Molitor over to Cooper, and the Orioles go down again. They won the opener of the series 9-4, but they've gone at least 10 innings without a hit. We go to the bottom of the first. Baltimore nothing. Here come the Brewers. Thank you, Dale. I appreciate that. How you doing, Al? and OG. Watching some of his stuff today, too. So here's a lineup. Well, let me tell you about Mike Flanagan. He's 7-1 on the year. And if the Orioles are going to continue on this run, he needs to be a big part of it. His ERA is .366. In 71 innings, he's allowed 64 hits. This is start number 11 for Flanagan. I don't know if Baltimore's even played Detroit yet. Some starts here against the Red Sox and starts against Toronto, but there's no Detroit or Milwaukee. Flanagan in his last start was last Saturday against the Twins. He went 7 2/3 innings. He got the win, 7 hits. 3 runs all earned. He walked 2 and struck out 3. He's allowed 7 home runs in his 71 1/3 innings. 64 hits, 31 runs, 29 earned. He has walked 24 and struck out 40. And as I said, he got his 7th win of the year Saturday against the Twins. He, in real life, allowed 24 home runs. And I think we've reached the point where Harvey Keene really is in charge of the team, and the Wallbangers have tremendous power. So the lineup around that Flanagan will face, you see in Paul Molitor, he will lead it off from Milwaukee. Charlie Moore is in right field at second. Cecil Cooper will bat third and play first. Storm Gorman Thomas will clean up. Ted Simmons catching will bat fifth. Ogilvie, their left fielder, will bat sixth. Don Money, who has been anything but this year for Milwaukee, is your DH. He'll hit 7th. Rob Piccolo, the shortstop, will hit 8th. And Eddie Romero, as Al remembers, sat on the Red Sox bench through the good years, will bat 9th and play second. Moose Haas threw 10 pitches in the first. They're going to play for a bunt I'm not going to do. Defensively for Baltimore, John Lowenstein, 5 and 2 in left. Al Bumbry, an 8 and 6 in center. Remember, Bumbry didn't play last night in Baltimore's getting no hit. Jim Dwyer, a 4 and 3 in right. Cal Ripken sits standing there on the grass waiting for me to finish, a 5 at third. Barry Bonner, who, of course, as I already told the joke about sharing the baseball card, a 3 at short. Rich Dower, 3 at second. Eddie Murray, a 10 at first. And Joe Nolan, a 2 and 5 behind the plate. So we're ready. Molly at 320, 8 homers and 29 RBI. Pitch from Flanagan. It's a ground ball to Bonner. Long throw to Murray. Molitor's got wheels, and it got away from Murray. And so it's an E6. That throw just kind of drew Eddie off the bag, and Paul's on first. For Charlie Moore, 248, 5 homers, no fishing shows, and 21 RBI. There's 2 of you who'll get that joke. Charlie is ready, and so is Flanagan. And here's the pitch. Fly ball to center. Bumbry back to the track, 1 out. Molly retreats, and that will do that. Here's Cecil Cooper. Still hitting 282s against lefties. 302 overall on the year. 7 homers and 46 RBI. Earl, how are you? Good to have you along. So 1 on, 1 out. No score, bottom of the first. 77 degrees. You can smell the brats in the parking lot. And the winds are blowing gently out to right at 2. Yep, I've got it. The Mad Fisherman, who does a fishing show on Nesson here in Northern. Pitch to Cooper, ball 4, and so Flanagan is behind the 8 ball early. And I don't know why this is so slow. My processor is just crawling right along here. I updated yesterday. Leave me alone. Here's Storm Gorman Thomas. Batting average wise, it's awful even for him at 184. But 14 homers and 28 RBI. He's got 49 strikeouts to go with it. So it's either a windstorm or a kaboom. And for Flanagan, he wants to keep the ball in the yard. 2 on, 1 out. And that's a base hit into left center. Lowenstein picks it up. Molitor is going to round third. They're going to run on Lowenstein. Here comes the throw to Nolan, and it is in time. Lowenstein threw him out. Oh boy, you had a 78% chance of scoring, but you know, you roll that die and then 1 to 22 will come up. And so no one put on the tag and Molly's out. 2 out for Ted Simmons at 276, 11 homers and 25 RBI. You can't see Orioles. Can't change the colors during the game. It's better than when you're doing a Giants game on the road, isn't it? And doing this game in 1080p too. I'll drop the chat for a sec. Yeah, that's hard to see. That is hard to see. Can't blame you there. I don't think I can change it during the game. No, I can only change it by quitting out and doing that. Sorry about that, Dale. Anyway, 2 out for Simmons at 276, 11 homers, 25 RBI. Flanagan delivers, and there's a ground ball to Murray. He takes it to the bag himself, and that will retire the side. So the Brewers can't do anything. Molitor's thrown out by Lowenstein, and that's the inning. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 error. We played 1. Baltimore, nothing. Milwaukee, nothing. How you doing, Casey Jones? I won't spoil OG spoiler there. How you doing, Tribe Fan? Good to have you along. So it's Murray, Lowenstein, and Dwyer. I assume that you can see Eddie's stats and stuff. It's 2-3. He's off to a flying start. Game 54 for the Orioles. And the Brewers, for that fact. 387 for Murray, 13 homers, and 41 RBI. Pitch to Murray. Fly ball to shallow center. Thomas comes in, 1 out. Riding that train, Casey, high on Coca-Cola, because that's Coca-Cola adds life. Have a Coke and a smile. John Lowenstein at 231. That's not the numbers that he needs if the Orioles are going to continue to win. 6 homers and 15 RBI, but not high on cocaine. Yep. So here we go. 1 out. Pitch to Lowenstein is a little looper right to Romero for the out. So how many of you actually remember Randy Lurch pitching for the Brewers? You missed the open. You missed the fact that Lurch threw a no-hitter in the Tuesday game. Walked 4, walked 3 in the first, and that was it. Jim Dwyer at 311, 8 RBI, no home runs. Haas delivers, and there's a fly ball to right center. Thomas keeps the Orioles out of the hit column for 11 straight innings. No runs, no hits, no errors. After an inning and a half, there is no score. It'll be Ogilvy money in Piccolo. Ogilvy at 261. Man, this team could rake. 14 homers and 36 RBI. Yeah, that's what I said too. I remember Randy with the Phillies. I don't remember him with the Brewers. It's 5-2 with the no-hitter, which just goes to show that anyone can throw a no-hitter, and that really is no disrespect to Lurch, but on any given day, anything can happen. Flanagan's pitch to Ogilvy. It's a ground ball to Dower over the Murray. The cola, yes. Apparently, the can of, or the bottle of Coke Zero I had in my fridge was like a month overdue. They don't taste as good when they're past their sell-past date. It's true, especially with all the sweeteners. Non-sugar in it. Don Money, 235. 3 homers and 13 RBI. So Don is really struggling, and Flanagan has 1 out here in the second. Here's the pitch. Fly ball to center. Bunbury, 2 out. So Rob Piccolo, and if you don't remember him with the A's, this is the 82 photo pack, and even they have him with Oakland. 2-4 on his time in Milwaukee with a run score. But he's with Milwaukee the rest of the way. He's no longer with Oakland. Flanagan's pitch and Piccolo flies out one to center. Bunbury's been busy, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 2, no score. I remember Lurch. I just don't remember him with the Brewers. Philadelphia is who I remember him with. Cal Ripken leads us off here in the 3rd. Joe Nolan and Barry Bonner to follow. Cal at .312, 10 homers and 40 RBI. Uh-oh. Oh, geez, he's another game. Pitch from Haas, and Ripken pops this one up right side. Romero on the dirt. 1 out. Now, Don Larson, as you know, probably through the most famous game in baseball history, the perfect game of the 56 series. Okay, and if you don't know that, you know the New York, he pitched to know a perfect game for the New York Yankees. I think it was game 4 or 5 of that series against the then Brooklyn Dodgers. But would you believe that his career record was 56 and 57? I mean, if anyone is going to go out there and throw a perfecto, that would not be who you would say is doing that. And the irony of it is that pitchers like Pedro Martinez, did I give you Nolan's numbers? 294, 2 homers, and 11 RBI. And Roger Clemens, who either are in the Hall of Fame or should be in the Hall of Fame, never threw a no-hitter. Pitch to Nolan. There's a base hit into center field. So Baltimore gets their first hit since Monday, with 1 out here in the 3rd. Bobby Bonner. I think I called him Barry. It's Bobby. His baseball card is worth more than mine. At 267 and 10 RBI. So 1 on, 1 out for Baltimore here in the 3rd. Pitch from Haas. Nolan goes. Throw down to Romero. Gets into center field. And Nolan ends up on 3rd. And Earl Weaver is passed out in the dugout because someone called for a stolen base. And Nolan, surprising everyone, not only steals 2nd, but takes 3rd on the air by Simmons. That's nuts. So a 1-0 count to Bonner, and a runner on 3rd. No score, top to 3rd. Baltimore, Milwaukee. Pitch from Haas. There's a base hit up the middle, and it's 1-0 Baltimore. So Bonner's on 1st. And after 9 batters, moves Haas to 2 in the 3rd innings, 2 hits. A run it was earned, and no walks or strikeouts. 28 pitches. How you doing, Terry Joseph? Gooden did throw one. He threw one for the Yankees. And if there was ever one, and Clemens didn't pitch one, he threw a few one-hitters. But you thought, to pick up on baseball demos and thing there in the chat, you would think, especially, you look at Gooden in 85, Clemens in 86, Hershiser in 88, Pedro Martinez in 2000. I mean, those were, and Max Scherzer, who does have no hitters. Those are guys that, were no hitters waiting to happen. But yet, it didn't. Well, Scherzer's got a couple. Bunbury's 0 for 1. Bunts this one. Simmons throws it to Romero, covering the bag, and it works. So Uncle Ron sleeps through the sack bunt, and there's 2 out. Bonner on 2nd for Rich Dower, who's 0 for 1. Yep, good 2-1 for the Yankees, as Dale said. Haas's pitch. Little liner to center. Thomas comes in. He's going to try to drive. It's a coin flip. He makes the dive and makes a fantastic catch. To retire Dower. A run on 2 hits and an error. We played 2.5. Baltimore strikes first. 1-0. That did it in 95, I think. Yep. It was so good to see because Gooden I just loved as a kid. Goodness gracious, he isn't much older than us. He was 19 in 1984. I was 12. That's just not a lot of difference. And of course, you pulled for him. He just got too much money too early. The demons were plenty. Here's Eddie Romero. Eddie is 0 for 23 on the year. But he does have 2 RBI. We'll try to accentuate the positive here. Flanagan delivers, and there's a ground ball to Ripken on the bag of 3rd over to Murray, 1 out. Yep, against the Indians. No, he did not do it in his prime. And Fernando, as Baseball Demo said, certainly wasn't in his prime. Did it the same night as Dave Stewart. In fact, both games were on ESPN. Paul Molitor's 0 for 1. Flanagan threw 29 pitches and 2 in the third innings. Is allowed a hit and a walk. Molly's 0 for 1. Molitor reached on an error and was thrown out trying to score in the first. Pitch from Flanagan. There's a little nubber. Murray runs to the bag himself. I've never seen that. And it beat Molitor. That will not get a lot of favors in the Milwaukee dugout because Murray had to run almost as far as Molitor did. And Molly's got good speed. Here's Charlie Moore. He's 0 for 1. Did Phil or Joe ever throw one? I think one. Yeah, Phil did. I knew one of them did. Pitch from Flanagan to Moore. That's a base hit in the right center. That just got past Dower. And so a blue hit with 2 out. Brings up Cecil Cooper, who walked his first time up. The long walk by Flanagan. Yeah, I believe he won the World Series in '96. I believe he's got 2 rings, Dale. He got the fourth ring in '86 with the Mets, which we don't talk about in mixed company. And of course, with the Yankees in '96. How you doing, Kenny Castro? Jimmy Abbott, yeah. Did River Wood throw one? Well, he threw enough innings. He could have thrown a no-hitter over 40. Pitch to Cooper is a high fly ball to shallow right. Dwyer is there. And that retires the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. After 3, it's the Orioles 1, Milwaukee nothing. Yep. Eckersley's no-hitter came with Cleveland in 76 or 77. And Abbott no-hit the Indians in 93 and is the only one-handed pitcher to throw a no-hitter. Kenny Singleton, Eddie Murray, and John Lowenstein will be batting for the Orioles here in the 4th. Kenny's 0 for 1. Haas delivers. Fly ball left field. Ogilvie in the corner, 1 out. And it was the Indians. Yeah, I think I read that already. Eddie Murray's 0 for 1. Our predictor says that he's going to hit 345 in this at-bat and a good chance of a double or a strikeout. Pitch from Haas. There's a base hit left side. Piccolo couldn't get there in time, and Murray has the 3rd hit of the night for Baltimore. There's Lowenstein. He's 0 for 1. 1 out, 1 on. Top the 4th. Baltimore and Milwaukee. We're now in the heat of the fire of this American League East race, as the leaders now will play each other. Tomorrow, California and Chicago at noontime right here on Retro Sports Network. And I picked next week's games, and I just can't remember what I picked. But they've been picked. Lowenstein, ground ball to Cooper. Throws to Piccolo at short for 1. That's it. So it's a fielder's choice. Lowenstein will reach on the 3-6. So 2 out and 1 on for Dwyer, who's 0 for 1. The last no-hitter against the Indians was Erwin Santana. I imagine he was with the Twins when he threw that. Right? Yeah, it must have been 2012 or 2013. Now, Johan is the one that threw the no-hitter for the Mets, the only one in history. How about Painter? Goes to bed comfortably at night, still dreaming of that one. Pitch to Dwyer. It's a ground ball to Molitor. He goes to Romero for the easy out at second. McIntyre at the side. No runs, a hit, no errors. 3.5 in the books. Baltimore 1, Milwaukee nothing. That's what you get when you watch TV. I saw that too, that Jose Canseco was warning J-Lo about A-Rod's infidelities. I think A-Rod and J-Lo deserve each other. Gorman, Thomas, Ted Simmons, and Ben Ogilvie. Gorman is 1 for 1. He grouped a single his first time up. Pitch to Gorman is a little looper in the left. Lowenstein makes the catch. That was a laser shot that Lowenstein had all the way. And there's one out. Wind is now 3 miles an hour to right and 74 beautiful degrees here in Milwaukee. Ted Simmons is 0 for 1. Flanagan and Haas are cruising right through this. Haas is through 4 innings on 44 pitches. Flanagan delivers and Simmons hits this one in the left field. Lowenstein 2 out. There's Ben Ogilvie who's 0 for 1. Flanagan's pitch. Got him! First strikeout of the game. He swung on and missed an 0-2 fastball. No runs, no hits, no errors. We played 4 in Milwaukee, Baltimore 1, Milwaukee nothing. Jason Parker says, I don't know what to think of Jose Canseco. I'll tell you what to think of Jose Canseco. He's nuts. I didn't like him when he was with Oakland. I mean, it was pretty obvious that he and McGuire were taking their fair share of B12 vitamins. Man, they were ripped. Remember in the 89 AL Championship Series, right when Skydome opened and Canseco put one in the 5th deck? And that was a moonshot. I mean, even Tony Kubek went, whoa, off the bat. And Tony was the Mr. Spock of announcers. He was rather stoic. It'll be Cal, Ripken, Joe Nolan, and Bonner. And Cal is 0 for 1. They kept me, the Bash Brothers, a.k.a. Steroid Brothers. We're the Wallbangers. They've been kind of held quiet so far. Ken Castro says they peppered his car in Pawtucket when he was rehabbing in AAA. Oh. I mean, I feel bad for Jose because he generally believes a lot of the stuff that he just kind of spouts. Pitch to Ripken, and it gets away from Simmons. Throw down to Cooper, strike 3. So a 1-2 pitch caught the inside corner, and everybody lost it. Because really, mental illness is no joke. But Canseco just he's just way out there. Here's Joe Nolan. He's 1 for 1. He actually scored the lone run of the game in the 3rd and stole a base. It was his lone stolen base of the year. And if you want to know about Earl Weaver, he's on his favorite couch, and they've given him a cigarette, a safer, and some smelling salts, and he'll be fine. Jason Parker says, I remember Jose Canseco and Mark McGuire batting under 100 during the 90 World Series. And Baseball Demo says, I remember Canseco with 86 rated rookie Donruss card went for $5. Everyone wanted one. Now you can have a little more than a nickel. He batted his IQ. It's cards and letters too. Here's the pitch to Nolan. Chopper right back to Haas, over to Cooper from the out. Here's Bobby Bonner on the RBI single in the 3rd. 2 out here, top of the 5th. Drive fan says, remember Washington Canseco and Mulbar went over 24 before the Indians swept them in the 95 ALDS. Not the Tribes fan is remembering that with great glee. And Jason, those late 80s Fleers and Donruss are still on the printing presses. Pitch to Bonner is a ground ball to Piccolo. Over to Cooper, and that retires the side. Halfway home in this one. Baltimore 1, Milwaukee nothing. I think I hit me. Am I looking at my ball spot? No. Am I now? Why? Oh yeah, I am. All right, my doctor called. Just in case you were wondering about things like that, she called so I should get this game off in time. I will be trying a new medication for my sugar. It wasn't horrible, but it's higher than it should be. And so we thankfully avoided the one that makes me pee all the time and get yeast infections. That just did not sound very good. So thank you for the concern about that and all the comments and letters I got from regarding my video earlier today. was very, very appreciative, and I will be thanking all of those fine people later. But so there you go, no more Dr. Delay. I was actually thinking about putting up another picture of Curly with a rain delay thing in case that happened. But she finally got in touch with me, and we're all squared away. Now, back to the ball game. All right, so we Don Money, Rob Piccolo, and Eddie Romero here to face Flanagan in the fifth. Haas at 53 pitches through 5, and Flanagan 49 through 4. And Money is 0 for 1. Flanagan delivers, and Money hits that one in the left center. He'll hold at first with the single, though he's going for 2. Throw to Dower is in time. And again, just like Molitor in the first, Lowenstein now has 2 outfield assists. He got in rather easily. The center was close, but it really wasn't, and there's now nobody on and 1 out. Milwaukee being too aggressive on the bases has cost them at least 1 run. I'll be just fine. Jason Junior's top draft pick card, maybe that's what you think. You know what, Tribe? I got a box. I forgot that that 93 was the first year that Topps went back into series as far as releasing cards. And I've got a completely unopened box of 1993 Topps, complete with the 79-cent Brooks price tags on each and every blessed pack. But Jeter was in Series 1 and not Series 2. Peach. Who's Peach? So there you go. Rob Piccolo is 0 for 1. Flanagan delivers, and there's the fly ball on the left. Lowenstein in the corner makes the catch. So 2 out and nobody on. And Milwaukee, I mean, they're 2 back. I mean, this is not a make-or-break game in June. But these are the ones you want in your pocket. Remember, these 2 teams played 4 to end the season in Baltimore. And if it's like this, those games will have substantial meaning. And you want every advantage you get into one of those make-or-break weeks. Pitch to Romero is a ground ball to Murray. Back to the bag himself, and that will retire the side. So no runs a hit, nobody left. After 5, no errors either. After 5, 1-0 Baltimore. So Moose Haas, through 18 batters, is throwing 5 innings, 3 hits, an earned run, so a run at the lone run of the game, and 1 strikeout. And 53 pitches. That is kind of efficient. Bumbry's 0 for 1. And bunted is in the third. A sac bunt. Pitch to Al. Struck him out. A 1-2 breaking ball is swung on and missed, and that's 2 for Haas. Brings up Dower, who's 0 for 2. Britton Parks doing his strap pro. Uh-oh, your ball stat files were corrected. They were broadcast, he's got his pro. Piccolo, 64. That's your GM. Way too young. That's not good. How far along, Clinton, were you in that replay, buddy? Dower is 0 for 2. Haas delivers. And there's a little liner, base hit into center field. Thomas will cut it off, and the Orioles have 4 hits on the board. I have attached to this computer a little 3 terabyte portable hard drive I picked up at Staples for $100. And for those of you like me who do this and might switch around computers at some point or have data that need to be backed up, back it up. It's dirt cheap, and you'll thank yourself for it in the meantime, because I have all the stuff for my Action PC files, and it was just so easy to sit there and just throw it in there and call them back when I got this computer. Did I tell you that Ken Singleton's open too? Drive to third and flew out to left. Moose delivers, and there's a base hit up the middle. Dower will hold at second. The Orioles have got something going here. 1 out in the top of the 6th. For Eddie Murray, Eddie's 1 for 2. It's not a single. Patriot series will start this week, Jason. A little periodicals in our progress. OPS sometimes sucks. Definitely not long, only the first week. Twitch is interesting. I have Twitch privileges, but I have a community over here. I use XSplit. You gotta pay for XSplit if you want to use it long term, but it's just so easy. I have all my profiles of all my sports saved into it, so you load the file. I have it set so it shares all the screens, and you can look at my load every once in a while. 1 out, 2 on. Murray, fly ball to right. Moore goes back, makes the catch. Bauer tags, and second will hold. And there's 2 out for Lowenstein, who's over 2. We added 2 teams to the Patriots Challenge, too. So along with the ones I listed in the video, or when I mentioned it, the 86 Giants will be there, and the 1999 St. Louis Rams. Pitch to Lowenstein from Haas is a fly ball, shallow center. Thomas comes in, makes the catch to retire the side. No runs, 2 hits. That's true. You gotta have viewers to save your Twitch videos. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. 5.5 in the books. Baltimore 1, Milwaukee nothing. Casey asks, I think it's not Buck Rogers anymore. I do think it's Harvey Keene. And Baseball Demos knows about as much about Twitch as he does Game of Thrones. Twitch is a lot for action games. It's a lot like this. There's some general chat, and you can give some money and all that. But if you're doing something like this, I think you're going to do better on YouTube than you are on Twitch. But I don't know that for sure. Here's Paul Molitor. He's 0 for 2. So Flanagan threw 18 batters, 61 pitches, 5 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 3 hits, and a walk and a strikeout. Molitor's 0 for 2. Right. Yeah, and Al's right. You need OBS or XSplit or something like that to go on the Twitch. Atlanta and Clinton replay beat Cincinnati 3-2. Horner belted 2. Pastore cocked into 2 double plays, and Tomiko got a hit. So Atlanta, this is for the DH lovers. Ha ha ha. You won't have to wait long, especially Combat Painter, especially with opening day. Finding a Goy. They're on sale. Baseball's on sale now. Oh no, trust me, they'll be. Oh, the decades were on sale this week. Today, I think, like $50 for 10 seasons. So that's 75% off. They're on sale now. Flanagan delivers. Molitor hits this one in a deep left center. Back goes Lowenstein for the out. Here's Charlie Moore. Charlie 1 for 2. I'd have to look. But especially if you get the decade, that is such a deal. So Moore singled. He's 1 for 2. Yeah, the decades are on sale. So if there's a favorite decade, I think you're starting at $49. Flanagan's pitch, and there's a ground ball right back to Mike. Over to Murray. And so that is 2 out. Harvey Keene started Nancy in game 48. This is game 54. So this is Harvey's first time. Our first week advantage of the Brewers. So seasons before 1960, I believe, is what Dave considers vintage. Harvey's wall bangers. They haven't banged much. Here's Cecil Cooper. He's walked. He's 0 for 1. Lone walk for Flanagan. Ground ball to Bauer over to Murray. And that will retire the side. So we go to the top of the 7th. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 6, it's Baltimore 1, Milwaukee nothing. It'll be Jim Dwyer, Cal Ripken, and Joe Nolan against Moose Haas here in the 7th. Jim Dwyer is 0 for 2. Haas delivers, and there's a base hit in the right field. Moore will pick it up on the ground, and Dwyer has himself a single. 6 hits. Brings up Cal Ripken. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Pitch from Haas. Ripken, line drive right to Piccolo for the out. So 1 out. So yeah, no, it is Harvey. It would be hard if he came in 48. This is game 54. So if we were actually doing a proper broadcast, it would be Harvey's first time in the replay, his first week. Here's Nolan. Joe was 1 for 2. He singled, stolen a base. Earl's fine, don't worry about it, and scored. Pitch to Nolan. It's a ground ball to Romero. To Piccolo for 1 over to Cooper, and they're going to turn it. They're going to turn it. 4, 6, 3. Time to stretch, and I'm not singing. After 6.5. Baltimore 1, Milwaukee nothing. Oh, 79. Okay, so that's a pretty good deal. Yes, Combat Painter. So go gorge. Go spend that money. Worth every penny. Gorman Thomas 1 for 2. It'll be Thomas, Simmons, and Ogilvy. Hey, Clinton, go check your privates in Discord. I sent you something. And Thomas drops that one past Bonner at short, and that's a base hit. 4th hit for the Brewers. 1 run, 6 hits, an error for Baltimore. They've left 4 on. No runs, 4 hits, an error for Milwaukee. They've stranded 3 so far. Thomas isn't going anywhere. And here's Ted Simmons. He's 0 for 2. No, $5 each is, you can't beat that. You really can't beat it. Pitch to Simmons is popped up left side. Ripken got it. So 1 out, and for Ben Ogilvy. Uncle Ben is 0 for 2 with the strikeout. Also grounded out to second. This has been the pitcher's duel extraordinaire. Pitch to Ogilvy. There's a base hit up the middle. Thomas will hold at 7. Thomas has some speed, but Bumpry has a decent arm. So first and second, 1 out for Don Money. And Don is 1 for 2. Oof. What do you want, Ken, that's never on sale? Flanagan delivers, and Money lifts that one in the left. Back goes Lowenstein in the corner. He's got it. Thomas will tag at second and hold. Had a 72% chance of getting there, but Milwaukee's already lost 2 runners on the base pass. Here's Rob Piccolo. He's 0 for 2. Ebay. So Flanagan's pitch, and Piccolo hits this one in the left, but that's going to be a souvenir. And someone from Eau Claire will have themselves a souvenir. The count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Oh yeah, replay C and D. I never see anything on sale. Yep, hold it for 20 years when most of us are dead. eBay at Combat. Or trade it. Someone will want it. He did do a PC sale. I picked up a couple seasons there. 2-2 to Piccolo. Got him! He swung on and missed on a breaking ball. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. After 7, Baltimore 1, Milwaukee nothing. NPG Plus. I think it is. I think it's a very good version of Appa's Master Game, I think. And so I think it's a little more advanced than Skeeter's NP3. And it's absolutely free. And it's definitely worth it. And it's free. But if you want to print out the cards, especially a modern season, it's 100 pages. Make sure that you are nice to your inkjet printer or to the person at work who will let you print that stuff. Bobby Catalano says she'll help cut cards. Bobby Bonner is 1 for 2. He's got an RBI single, and it'll be Bumbry and Dower to face Voss here in the 8th. 1-0 Baltimore. Here's the pitch. Got him! He looked at a 2-2 fastball on the inside corner for a strikeout. Speak ill of the sacred one of you, and you shall be condemned to hell. Not free if you're putting it home. Well, that's true. So you sneak it in a work file, call it boss's resume, and you make 100 copies. Just put it out there. And so Moose Haas is at 86 pitches through 7 in the third and 27 batters, 6 innings. He has struck out 3, given up a run that was earned. He's on the wrong end of a 1-0 score. Pitched a gem of a ball game here, but the Herbie Wallbangers have not banged anything. Pitch to Bunbury is a little number down to Cooper that will roll foul. So it's now 0-2. Depends on the sacred ring, okay? You speak ill of some and you usually ostracize from the community. Alright, I'm not getting the conversation here. I just stick to my game plan. So it's an 0-2 count to Bunbury. Pitch from Haas. There's a chopper down to Piccolo. Long throw to Cooper. Bunbury's got wheels, and that's an out. So 2 out. That's always good when your parents are guardian angels or your in-laws are guardian angels. My mom is that way for my wife. It's wonderful to see. Rich Dower, there's your serious moment of the day. Rich Dower is 1 for 3. He's got himself a single. I don't know, Combat. I'm still envious of all those cards you picked up for $10-20 in those videos. That's kind of like looking at George Brett's new 1980 Strat card. It's just pure porn. I needed a nap after that. Pitch from Haas to Dower. Ground ball to Romero. He's coming in. Short throw to Cooper. Dower's in a hurry, and they got him. So no runs, no hits, no errors. We've played 7.5. This one's actually been a tight game. It's Baltimore 1, Milwaukee nothing. 68 for a super project. I need a good deal. So it'll be Romero, Molitor, and more, and we're going to pinch hit for Romero. Why are you sitting Robin Yount, who's got a 357 average against lefties, and Jim Gantner's got a 289 average against lefties? So Yount at 310, 11 homers, and 32 RBI. Pitch from Flanagan, and that's a fly ball to center. Back goes Bunbury, and that was an out. There's Molly, and Paul is 0 for 3. Flanagan's the 27 batters, 95 pitches, 7 in the third inning, 5 hits, no runs. He's walked 1 and struck out 2. Oh my God, that is just... Yeah, Brett 80, remember 1200 OPS versus righty. Oh my God, I saw that on Stratomatic Delaware's card reveal, and like I said, you couldn't have put my favorite women in the same room and they poser for, and I would have had the same reaction. That is just, it's just like, you know, watching them cooking a steak on YouTube. Oh my God, this is beautiful, and that's what that is. Molitor, ground ball to first. Murray flips it to Flanagan. And Molly's out, 2 out. Then Charlie Morey's 1. 64. It's $5 off, so it's only $22 off. It's only seats for a seat. AL Bread is darn close to Route 20 old school corn. Yeah, I bet that card's pretty awesome too. 54 homers in 1920. The entire 1 column is probably a home run. Take that $5 and buy some groceries. You can buy yourself the steak and take the picture of for me to drool on. Charlie's got himself a single. Here's the pitch to Moore. There's a base hit in the left field. Moore will round first and will hold. It's not going to be serious now because the Brewers have 1 on and 2 out. For Cecil Cooper, who was 0 for 2 with a walk. How you doing, Robbie Wartburg? Nolan goes out to talk to Flanagan. And here's the pitch to Cooper. Fly ball to right. Back goes Dwyer to the wall, and that's going to find it. That's a wall banger. Moore's going to go around and score. Cooper's got himself a double, and we are tied at 1. Oh, nada means empty tequila bottle in Spanish. We're talking coffee now. How did I lose you people? So the winning run now, the go-ahead run is now Cooper. 1-1 here in the bottom of the 8th. For Storman, Gorman, and Thomas, who was singled twice and is 2 for 3. Pitch from Flanagan. Fly ball to center. Bumbry's got it. And we go to the 9th. Bruce Haas says he wants to play. So Yaup stays in the game at short. Tim Gantner will bat 8th and play 2nd. So starting pretty much a starting infield for Milwaukee. And it's a 1-1 tie here in the 9th. Singleton, Murray, and Lowenstein for Baltimore. Tenney's 1 for 3. He got himself a single. Just the chat in general. I don't even know what. Yeah, this is a good game. The Ken Castro World Tour will be in Scarborough, Maine in April. Pitch from Haas. Singleton starts the 9th with a base hit to left. So I probably should get serious here for the 9th. Eddie Murray's 1 for 3. He's got himself a single. Go-ahead run on first. A tiring Moose Haas on the mound. We'll see how much more he can go. He's thrown a gem of a game here. 1 run, 7 hits, and 1 error for both sides. The Orioles have left 4 on. The Brewers 6. Pitch to Murray. Got him! He took a 1-2 change on the inside part of the plate. And for Haas, that's strikeout number 4 and a big out. And that brings up John Lowenstein. with one out. Yep, Combat Painter. He gets it right. When I try to pay attention to the comments, I screw up the game. Oh, that's what you do? Yeah, that's what happens. We all do that. We all do that. Clinton, the World Traveler. So the pitch from Haas to Lowenstein. That's a base hit in the center field, and so Singleton will hold at second. And so now Harvey's got a decision to make. Well, Dwyer, lefty. Have you got a lefty in the pen? Yep, Jamie Easterly. This will be a 1-batter special for Easterly. So Jamie is 2-1 on the year. Oh, we got a pitching change. This game is coming to you from County Stadium in Milwaukee. Jamie Easterly's coming in for his 11th relief appearance. He has a 2-1 record, a 3.52 ERA. He pitched 2/3 of an inning Monday night against these Orioles. Gave up and took the loss. Did not give up a hit. Walked 1, and that run ended up scoring. So in 15 1/3 innings, he's allowed 15 hits and a home run. 6 runs all earned. He has walked 9 and struck out 5. So let's see what Earl Weaver does. I imagine here that Dwyer is going to get lifted. Yep, Gary Renicky will come in. Gary at 278 on the year. Remember, Easterly has to pitch to Renicky. You got to pitch to one batter. 278 for Renicky, 5 homers and 19 RBI. So Easterly delivers, and there's a fly ball to left. Ogilvie in the corner makes the catch for the second half. A fantastic sliding catch as he goes into foul territory on the dirt. And this pretty much sellout crowd here in Milwaukee's loving that one, and that'll bring up Cal Ripken, and that's going to be it for Easterly. Surely, Manly League or not, your job is to win games. And in comes Raleigh Finger. Again, another pitching change. This game coming to you still from County Stadium in Milwaukee. And so for Mr. Fingers, this is relief appearance number 21. Note here before I go to the next game when he's done for the year. He is done on September 2nd. If the Brewers make the playoffs, guess who's not there? He pitched and got hammered by Baltimore Monday night. In the third of an inning, 4 hits, 3 runs, all earned, and a walk. So on the year, 6-3 with 7 saves, an ERA of 4.55. 17 runs, 16 earned, he walked 11 and struck out 30. Yeah, if we're going to get together, 1-1 to the 9th. If we're going to get together, it's got to be here in Burlington because I really don't travel, So Fingers is on. 1 run, 8 hits, an error for Baltimore. 1 run, 7 hits, 1 error for Milwaukee. 2 out for Ripken, who's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. It'll be Simmons, Ogilvie, and Money for the Brewers at the 9th. Ripken can give Baltimore the lead. Fingers delivers. Strike 3! He swung on and missed. And Ripken goes down swinging. No runs, 2 hits, and no errors. And fueled by a tremendous catch by Ben Ogilvie in left, we go to the bottom of the 9th. Baltimore 1, Milwaukee 1. Mets at Chicago, 3-game series. Game 70. Combat Painter, you deserve a medal for doing that. First of all, it's a great replay that you're doing, buddy, but oh my God. It'd be like someone taking the 78-79 Braves and doing that. I mean, yeah, you got Phil Necro, but then you got... Anyway, so it'll be Simmons, Ogilvie, and Money, and Ted is 0 for 3. And now we've reached the cardiac. Is that Vermont? Absolutely it is. We got Clinton Cardiac Baseball now. Freebie stuff here. 1-1 bottom of the 9th. Simmons, fly ball to center. Bunbury comes in and dives and makes a fantastic catch. Now, who's hurt? It's Simmons. He's pointing to his quads and going, I got a cramp. And Harvey says, here, drink this stuff called Gatorade and you'll feel better. And Ted says, okay. So Ben Ogilvie, who saved this game in the top of the inning, is 1 for 3. He is singled and struck out. Oh, you're in Arizona? I didn't realize that. So how long have you been in Arizona? Pitch to Ogilvie. Bang! To line drive to right center field, and Bunbury makes the catch. 2 out for Don Money. Don is 1 for 3. Oh, San Antonio. No, San Antonio's not in Arizona. So 2 out. Flanagan is 1 out away from going 9. And Money's 1 for 3. Flanagan's pitch. Fly ball, shallow left center. Free baseball as Lowenstein makes the catch. Raleigh Fingers trundles out to start the 10th after 9. It's Baltimore 1, Milwaukee 1. So Joe Nolan, Barry Bonner, and Al Bunbury here in the 10th. And Fingers can go for a while. He's rated for 50 pitches. And Dave Gardner is in Texas, in Massachusetts. Pitch to Nolan. Struck him out. Joe goes down swinging on an 0-2 carry. And that brings up Bobby Bonner, who's 1 for 3. Drove in the lone Baltimore run. Would you believe that Joe Nolan scored because he stole second to throw into center field? Joe Nolan stole second for an Earl Weaver team. Just let that sink in for a minute. And then took third when the throw went into center field from Simmons. Fingers delivers. Bonner lines this one to Thomas in center. He dives and makes the play. The defense is really shining now, guys. How about that? Did they stop selling beer? No, they never stopped selling beer there. Yeah, Eric from Higher Ground, too. I don't know why the YouTube kind of crashed, but I know that you're still there. So here's Bumber. He's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Fingers delivers. Ground ball right back to Raleigh over to Cooper. And that retires the side. So after 9.5, the Orioles go in order in their share of the 10th. We go to the bottom of the frame. Gantner, Yacht, Molitor. Baltimore 1, Milwaukee 1. I don't know when it was consistently in the 7th inning. Every game I remember that they sold alcohol out, it was in the 7th. So Jim Gantner comes to the plate at 3:33. Flanagan's going to stay at least to start the 10th. He got his Clinton Parks vitamin injection. Gantner at 3:33, 2 homers, 26 RBI. Pitch from Mike. There's an old number down to Murray. Takes it to the bag himself, and there's 1 out. Brings up Robin Young, is 0 for 1. Flanagan's pitch. Ball 4, and Young flies to first base. So the 3-0 curve was up and away, and out comes Earl. Mike Flanagan is done. Tim Stoddard's coming in. Yeah, I'm sure places like Chicago and St. Louis wanted to sell right up to the end. So Casey Jones thinks that it was probably in the later 90s. So Tim Stoddard, the Baltimore closer, comes in. This is his 9th appearance, and again, check out his dates. He's done as of August 27th. This is his 9th appearance. He has 6 saves and no ERA. In 11 1/3 innings, he's allowed 4 hits, walked 1, and struck out 7. He went an inning and 2/3 on Monday against these Brewers and struck out 1. You are a masochist. I grew up a Red Sox fan. I hear you. So, Orioles guard against the double. Molitor's 0 for 4. Young on first. Not going to steal. 1 out, bottom of the 10th. Stoddard's pitch. Ground ball right back to Tim. Over to Murray for the out. What happens when you drink too much seltzer and that comes back to bite you? So Yount moves to second. 2 out for Moore. Charlie is 2 for 4. He singled twice and scored the lone run for Milwaukee. And the winning run sits in scoring position in Robin Yount. So Stoddard takes his time. You see that Moore has 3 game-winning RBIs on the year. He'd love a 4th right here. Stoddard's pitch. Right back to Tim. Over to Murray, and that retires the side. More. More baseball for you. We go to the 11th. No runs, no hits, no errors. Baltimore and Milwaukee are still tied at 1. Yeah, you live in San Antonio, but you got the Spurs, which may not be great this year, but I love me some Tim Duncan. Rich Dower, Ken Singleton, and Eddie Murray will back here for Baltimore at the top of the 11th. And then Milwaukee will respond with Cooper, Thomas, and Simmons. Fingers has retired 4 batters on 10 pitches, including 2 strikeouts. Rich is 1 for 4. He's got himself a single. You know, Al, I watched the end of that Kentucky Duke game from '92, the one that Leitner stomps on someone's head, and he always makes that damn shot. I always think that clock is going to expire before he can get it out of his hand, but it doesn't. I hear you. Pitch to Dower as a pop-up left side, and Molitor will give chase, and someone from Madison makes the catch. So it's a ball and 2 strikes. Clinton Park says, just remember, I started out truly in Pinky Higgins, Johnny Pesky, and Billy Herman when the man for the Red Sox. Yep, that was some ugly. San Antonio is an expansion team. San Antonio are awesome, but really close to Houston. So I would say maybe your favorite player, Bucky. Found that painter. If he times you out, that's not my problem. I'm hoping that, yeah, the Pinella doesn't drop the ball, or drops the ball, or Yastrzemski doesn't pop up with the bases loaded in the bottom of the ninth. You people are real nice, you know that? All right, Dowers 1 for 4. Fingers is ready. 1-2 pitch. Ball 4, he lost it. So the go-ahead runs on first. Dowers took one wide on ball 3, and that'll bring up Singleton. He's 2 for 4. And he singled twice. So Fingers delivers. Got him! 0-2 pitch, swung on and missed. That's 3 for Raleigh. The mustache wax is going on tonight, and he'll bring up Eddie Murray. 1 out. Eddie 1 for 4. He's got a single and a strikeout. Seventh mark. Yeah. Don't be sorry, Dale. Glad you're back. I don't know. I mean, you know, Robbie, whereabouts are you in Texas? Fingers to leverage, and it gets away from Simmons, and Dower goes to second. Now, do you walk in for Lowenstein? I think you gotta. And so Murray is given first, and now bring up Lowenstein. Milwaukee trying to set up a double play. Lowenstein 1 for 4 with the single. He was lined to second, grounded to first, flew out to shallow right, and singled in the ninth. So Fingers delivers, got him! You don't have to worry about a double play when you throw the split finger for a swing and a miss, strike 3, and that's 4 for Raleigh. And now bring up Gary Renicky, who's in right field. He's 0 for 1. Oh, thunderstorm knocked out the power. Arlington, okay. I mean, Vegas, Montreal, you can maybe be for Nashville or Charlotte. So yeah, Stoddard is 10 feet tall. So runners on first and second, 2 out for Renicky. Top 11, Simmons and Fingers exchange some signs. Here's the pitch, and Renicky nubs this one to Molitor's got to hurry. Long throw to Cooper is in time for the out. Oh ho! Earl Weaver storms out of the dugout. Oh, he is absolutely incensed. That is a close play. And let's watch it on replay here. Does Earl have a point? I mean, Molitor really had to hurry. He got that out of his glove quick. And I think Renicky beat that out. And now Earl's gone. Earl said the magic combination of army boots, mom, and putting cigarettes in your tab, and that will do it. And so Earl will watch this one from the comfort of the clubhouse as we go to the bottom of the 11th inning. Baltimore 1, Milwaukee 1. And it'll be Cooper, Thomas, and Simmons to face Stoddard here in the 11th. Cecil is 1 for 3. He has walked, doubled, and drove in the lone Milwaukee run. Stoddard, ground ball to Murray. Flips it to Stoddard for the out. Oh, so Dale's from Ohio. Thank you. I was wondering if you get that. So here's Gorman Thomas. Gorman is single twice. He's yet to strike out. And, of course, a home run wins the game. If we go to the 12th, it's Ripken, Nolan, and Bonner for Baltimore. Pitch to Thomas. Fly ball to left. Pop up. Ripken. 2 out. There's Simmons. 10 is 0 for 4. He's sitting on a 13-game hitting streak. And he's got his 5th chance to do something about that. Stoddard deals. Fly ball to center. Bunbury's got it. And we played 11. There's only been 15 combined hits in this game. We go to the 12th. Raleigh's going to start the inning 1-1. So 1 run, 8 hits, and 1 error for Baltimore. They've left 8 on. The Brewers 1 run on 7 hits and an error, and they've left 7. So Ripken, Nolan, and Bonner. Cal is 0 for 4. He has struck out twice. What, the throwing out of Earl? I made that up. You can't get ejected here. You can get ejected in OOTP, and I got ejected once, and it irritated me, for a lack of a politer word, because you can't really manage the game after that. I mean, it's kind of clever, but it really does go into a computer versus computer at that point. I'm sure that's still the case. Cal has struck out twice. He's 0 for 4. Fingers, and there's a base hit into right center field. Moore picks it up off a hop. Ripken will hold it first, and the go-ahead run is on base to start the 12th. Joe Nolan is 1 for 4. They struck out, grounded into a double play, stole a base, and scored. Same music word that Crash Davis used in the program. Pitch to Nolan. It's a base hit into center field. Ripken will hold at second, and Harvey's coming out to get Riley Fingers. And now, what do you do? I guess you go with Jim Slayton. We got ourselves a pitching change. This game is coming to you from County Stadium in Milwaukee. Helps if the mouse doesn't jump. So Jim Slayton is making his 10th appearance. He is 0-1 with 2.18 ERA. He can throw 80 pitches. So if this game goes 8,000 innings, Jim can do that. His last start came on May 30th against the California Angels. He went 6 innings, allowed 3 hits, 2 runs, only 1 earned, got no decision. Walked 3 and struck out 2. So in 33 innings, he's allowed 18 hits, 2 homers. He has walked 13 and struck out 11, and comes in with 2 on and nobody out in the top of the 12th. Bobby Bonner's 1 for 4. He has struck out a single. Infield plays halfway. Pitch from Slayton. Bunted to Simmons, over to Gantner, and that works. That's exactly what I thought Baltimore would do. And the sacrifice bunt worked. Goes 2-4 on the card, and that brings up Al Bumbry. And Bumbry's getting walked. So again, halfway, bases loaded. Ripken on third. Nolan on second. And Bumbry on first. 1-1, top of the 12th, 1 out. Milwaukee playing for 2. Dower is 1 for 4. 1 for 4. A single and a walk. Like I said, Ogilvie, Money, and Gantner do up for Milwaukee in the 12th. Slayton delivers. Ball 4, he walked home a run. Are you kidding me? So Ripken will score, and Slayton walks home the potential winning run. It's 2-1 Baltimore. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh. Yeah, wow is right. And so that'll bring up Singleton, who's a real worry. He's 2 for 5. He has singled twice and struck out. They're back this time, and Singleton chops this one to Cooper. Out for 1, back to Cooper. They're going to turn it 1 batter too late. Singleton should be retired, and he is. But the Orioles score the go-ahead run. Jim Slayton walked him home. We go to the bottom of the 12th. It's Baltimore 2, Milwaukee 1. Oh my goodness gracious. So 2 runs, 10 hits, and an error, and 10 left on for Baltimore. 1 run, 7 hits, and errors, 7 left on for Milwaukee. The good news is, even though it's a 6 through 9 hitters potentially, they're good hitters. But look at what Stoddard is supposed to do to Ogilvie. I mean, that's just unfair. Ogilvie's 1 for 4. They're singled and struck out. Pitch from Stoddard. There's a fly ball to deep center, but Bumbry's going to haul it in for the first out. 1 out for Don Money, who was 1 for 4. OTP you can do anything with. It's the perfect sandbox. It's not a replay simulator. Stoddard delivers, and Money slaps that one down to Ripken. Long throw to Murray, and we're down to 1 out. And it's Jim Gantner. who was 0 for 1. And the odds are really stacked in Tim Stoddard's favor here. A 13% chance of this ending on a strikeout right now. And so everybody's up. 2-1 Baltimore. 2 out, bottom of the 12th. Here's the pitch. There's a high fly ball to right, but it's going to stay in the yard, and Gary Renicky will catch to win the ball game. And so Baltimore has held on. They come back from being no hit the night before to win this one 2-1. And so here's the recap. Milwaukee had a runner at the bases loaded in the first, couldn't score. Bobby Bonner singled home Joe Nolan in the third to make it 1-0. Then Cecil Cooper's double to score. Charlie Moore tied it in the 8th, and then Rich Dower walked to give Baltimore the 2-1 lead. But because that Raleigh Fingers had Ripken on base, Fingers gets charged with a loss. And not Tim Slayton. So Tim Stoddard picks up the win. Here are your pitching things. Mike Flanagan, 9 1/3 innings. 7 hits, 1 run it was earned. He walked 2 and struck out 2. And Tim Stoddard retired all 8 men he faced. And look at that. He had minus stuff. Fingers takes the hard luck loss. Slayton does go the inning. We walked 2. One of those was intentionally. And so the Brewers slipped to 31 and 23. Batting heroes, there really wasn't any. Ken Singleton went 2 for 6. Joe Nolan 2 for 5 with a stolen base. And Mike Flanagan is your Miller Life MVP. Sean Lowenstein had 2 outfield assists. He's now got 3 on the year. And defensively, it was a great game. 1, 2, 3, 5 great plays, including Ogilvy's catch in the 9th, which preserved the tie. All right. Let's play the rest of Wednesday real quick. And then we'll let you go. So the Phillies beat the Cubs 3-1. Carlton picks up his 5th win of the year. Mike Schmidt, 18 home runs. Doubleheader between Detroit and Cleveland. Tigers win the opener 3-2. Saucier picks in 10. Saucier gets his 5th win. Richie Hebner 2 for 4 in his 7th home run. Thank you. Pittsburgh beat the Mets 3-2. Rick Rhoden goes to 9-4 and birdies the 18th at Oakmont. Kent DeColvey picks up his 6th save. The Red Sox beat the Yankees 3-2. Bob Stanley gets the win. I'll pass out right now. Tommy John goes to 2-9. Dave Winfield hits his 11th. California beat Toronto. I could have done that game too. 10-7. Mike Witt goes to 5-1. Reggie Jackson hit 2 home runs. He now has 16 on the year. He drove in 5. Seattle beat the Rangers 6-1. Jim Beatty goes to 5-0. Oakland gets dumped by Chicago hard 10-3. Lamar Hoyt goes to 5-4. Harold Baines with his 9th of the year. Minnesota stuns Kansas City 4-1. Tom Brunansky, 2 homers. He now has 5. Cleveland beat Detroit in the nightcap 9-3. Brennan gets the win. He's 1-1. Andre Thornton, 2 for 3 with 3 RBI. Houston down San Francisco 4-2. Joe Niekro goes to 7-3. Tom Seaver gets the wins. He goes to 2-7. Cincinnati beats San Diego 5-1. And Atlanta beat Los Angeles 4-3. There's lots of games we could have gone with here. Rick Mailer goes to 4-4. Wintonson 3 for 3 with 3 RBI. All right, so these standings are current. The lead in the National League East is 3. Montreal over Philadelphia. Los Angeles holding a 7.5 game lead over Atlanta. The Dodgers would have to. It's looking good for Los Angeles. Baltimore, with that split with the Tigers, is now in first place by a half a game. Milwaukee 3 back, and so is Toronto. In the West, Chicago and California remain tied, and that's our game tomorrow. California at Chicago at noon. Thanks for hanging on with us all the way through. Cardiac Baseball is all the way through. And so we'll see you tomorrow. Until then, I'm Ron Juckett. Am I sleeping okay? Yeah, a little bit better anyway. All right, so that's the final score. 2-1. Here was the final in 12. Baseball for you tomorrow at noon. As I said, California at the White Sox. And then the Patriots Challenge begins Friday night in prime time. And so for all of us, or for me at Retro Sports Network, I always say thank you. We'll talk to you the next time.